Alright everybody, hello and welcome as always. I am Sean, this is In The Mix, episode 57. Happy Tuesday, wherever in the world you're watching from. If you're watching this one retroactively or on a playlist or something like that, I hope you're having a wonderful day no matter what day of the week it is. But the week rolls on, working from home rolls on. I've been dying to play Football Manager. I played a fair bit this last weekend. It was the last weekend of the whole free week that Sports Interactive did. Fantastic to see so many extra people like playing the game and, record-breaking people playing the game simultaneously across Saturday and Sunday was fantastic to see. So if you are new to the community, if you are just watching, welcome. I hope you are enjoying it so far. It is a fantastic little group. So hopefully you'll get all the wonderful experiences out of it that I get out of it each and every week. And also been fantastic to see a lot of people down in the comment section below sharing their own saves that they're doing, sharing their own series that they're enjoying. Please let me know. If you have any feedback, I do respond to every single comment that I get. So by all means, keep that sort of stuff up. We are cracking on with our save this season. It's a bit of a revenge mission today. We're going to jump straight into the game and have a look at who we're playing. So as you guys can currently see, we're in 11th spot, but we are 5 points behind the top 10 at the moment, and there's quite a few teams breathing down our neck. But we have had a little, nice little turnaround in form where we haven't lost in a little while, which has been great for us. Picking up those extra points, working our way back towards a positive goal difference, that's going to be our key focus, I think, for the second half of this season. And definitely still working towards a top 10 finish. I'm not going to entertain any ideas around playoffs or anything like that. We're miles back from that competition at the moment, and a lot of those teams that are sitting up there, look at Hull, Wigan, Sunderland, Peterborough, all teams that are very, very good, have much bigger clubs, much bigger structures, better youth academies, lots of cash, all that sort of stuff. If we finish top 10, a fantastic result as far as I'm concerned. In this episode, we're going to be playing Plymouth, which is the first game up. They, of course, when we last played Plymouth, beat us 5-1. It was our real first humbling of the season, which was kind of disappointing, but they were much better than us in this side. They were 4-1 up at halftime. 4-0 up at halftime. Very, very humbling. And then they did get another goal in the second half. We pulled one back late on through Sam Taylor, but a very poor performance and definitely kind of grounding us after a relatively stable start to Sky Bet League One football. In the other match, we're going to play Southend, who also beat us 3-2 in not super heartbreaking, but definitely disappointing in that we were 2-0 up, and then in the second half they still scored 3 goals, a late heartbreaking goal in the 95th minute to actually get the victory there. So 2 real revenge missions, a good opportunity to see have we progressed and gotten better as a side in the second half of the season. And if they're continuing to belt us, where are they exploiting us? Where do we need to improve? We might do a little bit of tactical analysis post-games to have a look at where we're doing. Of course, in yesterday's episode, I went through how we do our scouting, or how I kind of go and do through my scouting. You can see all of those reports are continuing to come in. We're only a couple of games ahead of time, so we haven't had a chance to get scout reports on every single player. But effectively what will happen is, as we get these guys that are kind of, 4.5 star, 5 star potential, we will start to filter out some of the guys that we know aren't necessarily going to make it at our team, and we'll work our list down to be a proper list of 20, 25 players that we actively want to go after in the transfer market at the end of the season. The other portion that we are keeping on are current ability as well. Really anyone under 2 star, I'm not super interested in. I'll leave them there for the moment, and then we'll look at what the market's like and if there are players that are above them. So for example, these 2 guys here, 2 right fullbacks, if the best that's available in the market is 2-star current ability and 5-star potential, then that's what we'll go after. If there's another player in there that comes in as a right back like Nuno Pedro or something here, he might eventually finish the season as a 2.5-star, 3-star player. So we're not going to write everybody off super early, but we definitely are going to filter down and go after specific targets in this off season. We're probably not going to release everybody that comes off contract because we already have quite a few high potential and high current ability players in the squad, but we're definitely going to try and reduce some of these guys and get 5, 6, 7, 8 extra players in with high potential. And potentially we might actually start leveraging the loan market as well, sending them out to League 2 sides, Vanarama North sides, Vanarama National sides, wherever it might be, to try and get their development through that way. And of course, the other thing we have to keep an eye on, we've got 3 guys that are currently playing first team football that aren't going to be at the club next season via their loan deals. So we do want to try and bring in first team ready players to replace them, but still maintaining that average squad age of, under around 20 to bring them in, get them exposure to first team football, turn them around for either a higher fee or turn them around to go to a higher division club and continue their development that way. But more than enough talking from me, let's jump into the game against Plymouth and go through the 2 lineups now. Alright, so here's where we're going for, and there's a familiar face on the other side of the thing that I'll show you guys in a second, but Johnson in goal, Taylor McCluskey, Preston Kelly and Wright as the back 4. They have pretty much stayed consistent as a back 5 throughout the course of this season. I think I'm going to leave them in there for the majority of the year. The only thing I flirted with changing was potentially dropping Johnston because he's on loan, but I think we might do that for the last 5 or 6 games of the season instead of the last 10 or 15. In midfield, we've got Angelo playing at left midfield at the moment. Sam Taylor's currently suspended. He's out for another game after getting 10 yellow cards this season. And we've also got Our backup, Paul Llewellyn, is currently injured and he's out for a good few weeks. So Angelo's filling in and doing a job. He cannot play that role, but at least he's a left-footed player on the left-hand side. He can cross a little bit, so hopefully he can do okay, just kind of being a stopgap option for us. Wademan and Robertson is a central midfield pairing. Dean at right wing, who's been fantastic all season, played pretty much every game, which is great to see. And Knowles and Record up top. Record just crossed the 20-goal mark for the season, which is fantastic given that we're still only in January. If we get 30 goals out of him in his debut season, his first real chance at first team football, he's going to be fantastic for us over the next few years as well. Over for Plymouth, they're playing a 4-2-3-1. Very familiar name here on the right hand side. Sylvester Jasper, who of course played with us last season, 2 goals for his 31 appearances, was a player that we brought in and paid a fair amount of wage each week. Didn't really hit the heights that I had hoped he would, and one of the big reasons that we kind of moved away from 25-year-old players who would have been 16, 17, 18 at the start of the game is really because everybody that was in the game that wasn't already picked up by a club was at the maximum of their potential. So even though he came with big raps, he had a massive star rating, he was relatively solid for the level. I just really wanted to make that transition to having high potential players that can play above themselves, and he was a big part of that as well. They got Lubala on the other wing, who looks fairly solid as well. Barilli Lubala, let's go with that. He looks fairly solid, nothing spectacular, but very, very solid and play on both wings, which is always good to see. Goodman up top, their leading scorer, looks to be a fairly solid regen. Must have come through early in the game through the Liverpool Academy, and then with Plymouth, actually made 4 first-team appearances for Liverpool in his time there, which is very impressive. 23 years of age now, £1.2 million worth of value. Just obviously another level above the players that we've currently got. They've got Reece Devine, who we tried to bring in for about 5 different years. He was a Manchester United player at the start of the season, a left wing back. Really all the attributes that we want out of a lower league wing back. 16 tackling, jumps out at me immediately. 15 acceleration, 14 pace and stamina. Good determination in there as well. He looks to be an excellent player for your lower league saves if you're looking for a solid left wing back option. And Ryan Eason, midfield, is their captain. He looks very good as well. 15 first touch, 15 composure. Looks to be a proper midfield playmaker playing in that deeper role. So you can see why they've got a fair bit about them. They've been at this level for quite a few seasons as well. I think they're very much ingrained into the League One structure. But we are going to passionately tell everyone. I know a lot of you have been keen to avenge what happened when we last played Plymouth. Go out there and express yourselves. We're on our positive mentality. We're not going to go attacking. We're not going to play into any counter-attacking structure they may have. We did get torn apart on attacking last time. Hopefully an improved performance and a bit of a tactical tweak will help us through this time. Early highlight here. We've got the ball on the right-hand side. Robertson with the ball now. Back to McCluskey, who nearly loses out and then gives it away in midfield. Ball forward to Goodman here on the left wing. Can he find a ball into the box? McCluskey goes back to him again. Lubala squares it up for down, so he gets the strike away, and I think Johnson got something on it, but could only push it on the crossbar before we scramble away. Ball out to the left wing. Coming in here with Devine, who we did speak about in the build-up. Dean won it back there for a second. We do recover possession, but Robertson with a poor clearance only gets it to Jasper, who at the top of the box goes for the strike, and thankfully just over the crossbar there. I did get a question last week on Friday, I think it was Saturday morning by the time I read it, but Friday, about using like the 2D match engine. I'll go through that in a second. They've got a corner here through East to take. It's a good deep ball. The ball is there and he pinballs it around. He could have passed that into a back of a net, somehow hit the post from about a yard out. East has got another corner here. We'll let this one play through and then I'll finish that thought on the match engine. Taylor with the header away. Dean flicks it on. I'm thinking maybe we might need to look at potentially leveraging another tactic that uses a number 10 because the ball falls into that spot quite a bit and we just don't pick it up in good areas. Dean recovers possession here though. Knowles with the ball. Dean again. Is this the end of the highlight or are we going to see something here? Downs goes through Dean and he just gets a talking to, nearly a yellow card. The question I was asked around was using the 3D match engine. The reason I do 2D and then 3D goal replays is because from my experience, and obviously this could be very different from this version of the game, this is experience from 3 years ago. Goodman got goal side, Johnson with a fantastic save there, is because I would get a lot less keeper glitches, a lot less frustrating match engine issues or repetitive goals that I'd see in the games when I was using the 2D match engine. I think it gives the game a bit of an easier time processing the two teams against each other and the tactics against each other. I think the 3D match engine just throws in some weird animations. There's some limitations in terms of how the way the goalkeeper can dive. And I think you actually both concede and score more goals in the 3D match engine, but the 2D one gives you a more stable experience, and then you just watch the goal replays and see what actually happened in 3D once that comes through. That's how it works in my brain. I'm fairly certain it probably doesn't actually work that way from Sports Interactive, and if anyone from SI is watching and correct me, by all means drop it in the comment section below. But that's my rationale for using the 2D match engine and 3D replays. I just think the 3D match engine tends to throw out more weird shit and more immersion breaking things into the game engine. So that's pretty much my point of view on that. By all means, you're welcome to disagree, and if you do, you can drop it in the comment section below. We've gone through to half time here while I was rambling. We've had one shot, one on target, 43% possession. They've had 10, 5 and 57. So obviously the positive mentality isn't doing too much, and if they had finished a bit better, we'd be a couple of goals down. Assertively, I'm going to say not happy with your performance. Everyone's responded positively. We might as well go attacking as well, because why not? As things currently stand, a draw doesn't do much for us. It doesn't send us barreling down the table, only one spot lower. But if we go after and get a goal here, potentially, we might recover something good. They've recovered possession in a deep area. Jasper with a crossfield switch to Labala. Men coming across to him now. Just stand him up, boys. No need to commit. Robertson holds him up and then sort of sends the ball backwards. Right-hand side now through McCarthy. Looks to get the ball in the box. Preston Kelly was there and Labala's gotten the goal. He carried the ball about 60 metres in that counter-attack. It eventually worked its way out to the right-hand side. He stood up tall, back stick, and nodded the head of home. I'm pretty sure it was right at back stick that they're marking him, but he's only about 5'10", so struggling there. Preston Kelly maybe could have got at the ball a bit quicker. It's a good ball in though, and a fairly decent header as well. Arrived in time, got in front of the defender, powered the ball home, and we go a goal down in 50 minutes. Ooh, we've got a highlight here. We're going to let this play out, and then we're going to have a look at our subs. Right to take the throw in. Back through Robertson, who has picked up a yellow card. Back to right again. Sells Robertson short, puts him in the corner facing the wrong way. He tries a crossfield switch towards Wademan, who does quite well to knock it down actually. But it's recovered by Plymouth. Long ball forward to right. He looks for the right-hand corner, but Devine with a good header away. Labala in the middle, who's getting involved in a lot of the highlights here in the second half. Reverse pass from Goodman to East. Back in midfield. We have kind of regained our shape a little bit. Right with a good header back to Johnson. Is that going to be the end of the highlight? If we get the ball out quickly and go a bit longer, we might be 2v2 on this left-hand side. We've found that now. Wademan with a good ball in behind for Record, who turns his man, and from the wide area, can he find the finish? It's a wonderful finish from Dwayne Record. 21st goal of the season from him. I'm not going to lie and say we've 100% deserved it in this game, but a lovely little well-worked counter-attack. Preston Kelly to Wademan. He just sends that ball into the channel behind the fullback. Record does quite well to turn the man, get inside. He's left-footed originally, and he does actually finish with his left foot low and hard into that far corner. So let's try and support that now and go and do our tactical subs. I'm concerned about Robinson's yellow card. That's going to be a concern for us. So we're going to bring on Munoz, and Munoz can go as the Messiah, and Wademan can kind of shore things up as a deep line playmaker. Angelo's picked up a yellow as well. I'm probably going to bring on Clive Williams. He also can't play that role, but he's a winger himself, so he should have some of the key traits that we're looking for. And then the last one I might do, yeah, let's risk it to get the biscuit. We're going to bring on Mark Birch up front as a deep line forward. He's scored a couple of decent goals off the bench in the last few months, so hopefully, if we get any sort of positive outcome from him, we'll use our Get Creative shout as well. McCluskey immediately picks up a yellow card, which again gives us a red card risk. Dean's now picked one up as well. We're gravitating towards quite a few yellow cards, but at least if we want to focus on a positive, they're doing the same thing. 3 of their back 4 on yellow cards now. We're flying through the second half here. We're going to demand more just for the last 10 minutes or so. Bit of focus through to half time might do us the world of good. 4 minutes to be added on. Got a throw in here deep in the right-hand side. Ball forward to right. Deep one towards Record, who gets the header away. Just had to get that one on target, but it's well over the crossbar. There going to be any more highlights, any late drama here in this one? We're through the 4 minutes now, and the referee calls full time. 7 shots, 4 on target in the end, 45% possession. They had 16, 11, and 55. They were definitely the better team, but I think we actually are starting to get a bit more stability in our back line, and that's helping us quite a bit. Calmly, I'm going to say everyone thought we'd get beaten today. Well done for proving them wrong. So we did turn around a 5-1 defeat away from home to a 1-1 draw at home. It's still not a win, but at least it's progress in the right direction. We've been fined £2,500 for not controlling our players, getting too many yellow cards. And spoils shared as Jasper and FC Isle of Man renew acquaintances. Dwayne Record gets the man of the match for his wonderful goal, and I'm going to praise him as well because he's been excellent over the last few months. Given there's only 3 days until our next game, we're probably not going to rotate the lineup a tremendous amount. Actually, you know what? Screw that. Let's do it. Let's give Daniel Knowles a start. Let's bring Sam Taylor back in for Angelo, who did a job for us at left wing there. And let's also move around. Let's do Wademan as a deep line playmaker, bring Munoz in as the box-to-box or the Messiah, however we're using it. And let's give everyone who's starting in the next game an additional rest day. I think that just gives you a little bit of a boost before the next game. So if everyone's match rating is above 90, we should be absolutely golden. Magic of editing, we're going to jump forward to the game against Southend now. All right, and just like that, we're a couple of days ahead. Just those changes that we went through in the last time, nothing further came through during the training days that were in between. They are playing a very aggressive 4-2-4. This is very similar to this shape and structure that we actually played back in the early seasons of the division when we had those two high wingers playing a little bit further forward. We may potentially go back to that in future episodes, future leagues, whatever else. They're also playing with two deep lying midfielders, which is very interesting. It's very like a ton of distance in this area. So I'm hopeful that potentially Birch dropping in as a deep lying forward or potentially Wademan playing as a deep line playmaker, they're not going to have a tremendous amount of pressure on them, and we can find little balls over into the channel. They got some very good players here. They got Ledson, who's their star player at the moment, just a wonderful young player. Came through the Everton Academy and I think was in like maybe FM 14, 15, 16, as a really young player in the Everton Academy. Was absolutely fantastic, proper wonder kid player. Didn't quite work out for him. He's obviously now down at Southend. After coming through the Preston team as well. Very good player though, and very good for lower league saves if you're looking for a player yourself. Jacob Wakeling is a player that we looked at quite a few different times. I actually made this face pack for him. He didn't have one originally on his own. We tried to pick him up from West Brom. We nearly had him. He was on trial with us back in the day, and then eventually Southend swooped in, offered him more cash. I couldn't compete with £1,500 a week, and he's been there for a good few seasons since. They've also got ex-FC Isle of Man player Jaden Major, who was excellent for us, 39 appearances and 3 goals in just under a season. Still only 24 years old, which is absolutely mind-boggling. An excellent, excellent left winger through the Liverpool and then Burnley academies. Of course, great to see him again, but hopefully he doesn't have too good a game against us today. And if we can turn this one around and get a good performance and get a couple of points, we're going to be in a good position heading into the little run of league games to finish off the year. Assertively, we're going to say nobody expects us to get a result, so go out there and enjoy yourselves. I'm going to assertively tell both the attack and the defence that I have faith in them, and they've all seemed motivated or happy, which is great to see. Again, we're just on our positive mentality. We're going to wait and see how the game plays out a little bit before we make that step to aggressive or that step to attacking. And if things go completely tits up, we'll go to our cautious mentality and just try and counter-attack a little bit based on their possession. Early days, and by early days I mean the first 15-20 minutes here, we seem to be on top possession-wise, so I don't think they're trying to keep the ball a tremendous amount. First highlight of the game, Hull, the goalkeeper for Southend with a long ball forward. Major with header back into the left back. Marina now goes all the way back to Hull again. The press is good. Birch definitely making himself busy. Preston Kelly wins the ball back and heads it forward to Sam Taylor, returning to the lineup after suspension. Ball in behind for him now on the left-hand side. Can he square it up? Instead he goes to strike himself. It's a good save from Hull in the Southend goal, but Dwayne Record is in fantastic, fantastic goal-scoring form. Manages to poke that one home from about 5 yards out. Good little play here. Munoz does quite well just to hang that one back into the space in behind. Taylor with an excellent touch. Maybe the defender could have done a little bit better there, tried to clear it instead of play it, but Taylor eventually with the strike and Record on hand to just poke that one home. A proper poacher's finish for lower division football. They've immediately got a highlight here, throw in, right hand side, very deep. Taylor with a good cleared tackle away. Record with the ball on halfway. Forward to Birch now. He's got a man outside him on the right. Instead he goes himself, tries to hang one back stick. Munoz recovers possession from the cleared header. Wademan back to Munoz. Now Wademan again, looks for Preston Kelly on the overlap. Had a lot to do, does well to keep it in and find Taylor. Ball pinballs around, Records there again, and he's poked it home inside that kind of 6-yard, 12-yard spot. He is an excellent, excellent finisher, and his 23rd goal of the season has put us 2-0 up just on 30 minutes gone. Preston Kelly did quite well here, and they didn't rush it, just found Taylor. Taylor plays one into Record on the deck. His initial strike was closed down by the defence, but he's the first one to the rebound and smashes that one home for his second goal of the game. Peels off to the corner flag, doing the chicken dance as well, which is one that you don't see a tremendous amount. Major with the ball in here from wide area. Finds Ledson, who's hit every post imaginable, and then somehow we scramble it away. Back to Major again. He's going to try and hang this ball up. We've cleared it away, and Taylor plays the ball up the line. Is this the end of the highlight, or are we going to see a little bit more here? Mark Birch needed to push on there. There was space in behind for him to attack, and the highlight comes to an end. We're going to use our demand more shout here, just to give everyone some focus through to half-time. A few players are motivated, most are calm, everyone seems composed. Johnson with the ball, resetting from the goal kick. Taylor with possession now, finds Preston Kelly. Ball forward, Lane with a good header. Munoz in midfield, has time and space ahead of him. He sends it out left towards Taylor, who's been very busy in this first half. Deep ball across towards Birch. It was a good header, but he was about 20 yards away from the actual goal by the time he actually met it, and it's over the crossbar. Ball out left here from the goal kick. Ricky Dean with the ball on the right-hand side. Haven't seen much from his side. Jaden Major recovers it back and then gives it back and then gets it again. So they're just exchanging possession between them. Ball back to Koike, the left back. Ball forward looking for Wakeling. Right should recover and clear up the line. Birch does very well to intercept the ball in front of the left back there. Can he get a deep cross in? Looking towards Record, who's on an early hat-trick here. It hits the deck, and Munoz had the entire goal to aim at and drills a shot wide of the far post. But at least we're on top of him here. And I'm going to say, calmly, very happy with the way things are going. Let's keep it going. It's been a very good performance so far. But again, last time we played them, we were 2-0 up at half-time and they scored 3 in the second half. So we need to find that focus, and I probably need to make more intelligent subs. I think last time I left us on attacking for the second half and they set up to counter-attack against us. This time we're going to stick with positive and we're going to see out the game as much as we can. What have we got here? Who's struggling? Wright hasn't had the greatest game, so we'll bring on Barnes. Munoz hasn't had a great game either. We might bring on, just to mix it up, Keith Hayward as the Messiah, and I might hold on to that last sub for the last 10 minutes or so. Let's passionately tell them they'll make a difference, and let's tell everybody to get creative. Throw in here on the right-hand side, first contribution from Barnes. Wademan tries to get it back in, but it's cleared by the south end defence. Wakeling finds Cameron on halfway, who's 1v1 there for a moment. He goes all the way back to Koike, the left back. Look to send Shade. It looks like Major's been subbed off. Shade with the ball on the left-hand side, and Wakeling's offside there. He was definitely ahead of the defence once that initial ball was played. Good finish though. Always nice to see when one clips the inside of the post there. Just adds a little bit of extra drama to it. Deep ball here from Edsa towards back stick. Hayward should get there first. Looks to clear it up the line towards Birch. Got men running on the left-hand side if he can find the switch. He's gone directly to Record, who's done quite well. Taylor was in the area as well, but Record's going to go himself. Hard to argue, hard to blame with him. He maybe could have played Taylor in, but I think if I was on a hat trick, I'd be trying to take the goal myself as well. Dean with the resulting corner. Record with the header again, and Hull equal to it. Manages to claim. They reset quite early, but we don't see the end of the highlight. Let's use that last sub that we've got as well. They've got a highlight, actually. Let's watch this first. Edsa with the corner. Deep one in towards Lane, and they've managed to pull one goal back. So yes, let's use that sub to try and balance ourselves back out. Ricky Dean not having the greatest game. We'll bring on Clive Williams and just say, I have faith in you, get out there and make a difference. There's another highlight here again after they've pulled that one back. McCluskey looks to send a ball long. Ledson with the ball at the base of midfield. Back to Lane. Taylor with a good header. Wademan heads it all the way back to Johnson. Is that the end of the highlight, or are we going to see some more here? Thankfully, the highlight comes to an end. Let's use our demand more shout as well. Just give everyone some focus. They've got a throw in here on the right-hand side. Taylor does well to win the ball back, but Ward recovers, the right back. Ledson with the strike from the edge there, and they've come back from 2-0 down again. What is it that we're not doing correctly here? Are we going to go attacking for the last 5 minutes? What is it about South End structure? They had 4 shots and none on target in the first half, and in the second half here, they've managed to turn it around. It's a great strike from Ledson, take nothing away from the effort, but what is it about our tactic that they are seemingly able to turn around in the second half and be twice the team they were in the first? Very frustrating. Hopefully, we're not going to see a repeat of the first game. It isn't. It's a 2-2 draw in the end, but very frustrating. They had 12 shots, 5 on target, 43% possession, so they were much better in the second half, whatever that change was that they made. 19 shots, 10 on target, 57% of the ball are up for us. I'm going to say you're unlucky tonight, and I'm going to tell the defence. I'm not going to tell them anything. End team talk. Let's go with that. Just keep morale up, Sean. Find your focus. Don't destroy everything because you're frustrated about one game. So 2 games, 2 draws, not the best result. It does see us drop down into 12th position, but we have crossed that 40-point threshold. It's usually enough to keep you up in the Premier League. Is it enough to keep you up once you're in League One? And I guess the other positive as well, if we want to look at it this way, is that if we get a good result in the next game, put a little run of form together, we could quite easily jump into that top 10. Wimbledon have struggled in the last few games, it looks like. And I would even take 12th spot as being a successful season, given we were destined to finish at the bottom of the division. But I should remain, not focused, but I should remain perspective. Like, keep it as much as possible. We're supposed to be down towards the bottom of the division. We knew eventually we were going to run out. Like, that 7-year run of promotions and 6 league titles in that time was always going to come to an end. I knew that. So I should keep perspective and know that we're in League One, we're settled in League One, and we're putting ourselves in a position this year to hopefully strengthen the team in the off-season and push for playoffs or push for a league title next year as well. There's no massive rush. We're going to do this save pretty much all the way through until the release of FM21, which is mind-boggling to think about. FC Isle of Man denied by late goal. Dwayne Record for his double gets an 8.8 match rating. Scored all of our goals in this episode. He's definitely the player of the week. 5 unbeaten for FC Isle of Man following draw, so that's good to see. There are 3 draws in that and 2 wins, so not exactly setting the world on fire in terms of unbeaten matches, but at least it's been a little while since we've actually had a defeat, which is good to see. We did actually lose in a trophy competition, so I shouldn't complain too much about any of that. What I think we'll do is we'll play the games against Hull, Millwall, everyone else off screen, but we might come back and again do another revenge mission. We'll play Notts County, obviously a very sad story for Notts County in real life at the moment with the way the club is struggling. And then we're going to play Peterborough, who are the other team that absolutely demolished us in the first half of the year. If we go back to our schedule and have a look at the original Peterborough game, they beat us 5-0, definitely the worst defeat we had at the time. That win actually put them top of the division, but they have dropped off a little bit as the season has worn on and are now, oh no, they could still technically go top if they have a big victory in their game in hand. But obviously a massive one there, and hopefully we can get a bit of a revenge mission in as well. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. That is the portion that I appreciate the most. If you wanted to go that extra mile, you can subscribe to the channel by hitting that button below. You can also like this video if you want to please the YouTube algorithm, continue to grow the community, continue to get my eyes on it, get more people in the comment section below. And speaking of, if you are doing your own saves, let me know what they are down there. I do respond to every single comment that I get. And I'd love to hear about what you guys are doing, how you're enjoying the game, how it's coming along as the year progresses. You can check out the links just over to the side there if you want to be kept up to date on all our interactions with the community or our regular Sunday streams. But more than anything, like I said at the start, thank you so much for watching. I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the mixer.